We've been playing pickleball for the last 6 years, and in this video, we're gonna share with you the best 20 pickleball tips we've learned in those last 6 years.
And be sure to stay to the end because number 16 was an absolute game changer for me. Let's get into it.
This may sound simple, but doing this radically affected my pickleball game in a positive way and got me to the next level. And that is focusing on footwork in between shots. So after I hit the ball, I want to be active with my feet so that I'm ready to hit the next one. If I get flat-footed, I'm likely to miss or overreach or overextend.
Now, when I first started playing pickleball, I was popping up my dinks a ton. And this tip actually helped me so much. And it was simply lightening my grip strength. So on finesse shots like dinks or drops, make sure you have a really loose grip strength. On a scale of a 1 to 10, think 3 to 4, and that will help you stop popping up your softer shots.
A simple hack for getting to the kitchen line more consistently is to communicate with your partner and look for the right opportunities to advance forward. Remember, you want to make your way forward to the kitchen line, but you can only really do that when your opponents are going to hit up on the ball or you hit a ball that is unattackable. So when you know you've hit a ball that's unattackable, you should talk to your partner and communicate that it's an appropriate time to gain real estate and make your way forward to the net. That's gonna help you get to the net and win way more points.
This next tip will automatically give your serving team the offensive advantage in a point, and it's aiming your serve strategically. Now, great places to aim are either to your opponent's backhand, or if you're serving to this side of the court, aiming for the inside foot. That's gonna give you a strategic advantage at the very beginning of the rally.
Before I learned this pickleball tip, my return of serve was absolute trash. And that is, my return of serve, I used to hit and kind of remain flat-footed and planted. I would often mishit the ball or pop it up. But instead, if possible, when returning the ball, you should use forward momentum with your legs, almost like you're running forward as you hit the ball. This will allow you to generate effortless power and put you in a much better position to make your way to the kitchen line.
This next tip will keep you from hitting balls out, and it has to do with adjusting your backswing based on where you're at on the court. So if you get a ball from mid-court and you wind up with this huge backswing, that ball's gonna go out every time. However, if you have a bigger backswing at the baseline, the chances are you're gonna be able to keep that in. So the closer you get to the kitchen line, the shorter your backswing should be here in the midcourt. That's gonna make sure that your balls aren't going out of bounds.
If you wanna master topspin in pickleball, you need to learn this tip. Topspin is created with a high to low brushing motion, and there's almost this windshield wiper effect, letting this wrist lag down and then up. A great way to practice is to come up to the net, put your paddle flat on the net with the tip slightly angled down, and brush up. If you do this multiple times a day or even as a warm-up, you're gonna get way better at topspin in pickleball and be able to create way more offense.
A simple way to increase your chances of winning a pickleball point is having faster and better anticipation. So this next tip is the Teeter Totter concept. Simply, it's this. If my opponent's paddle is up, then I'm gonna be the teeter totter and I'm gonna put my paddle down because they're obviously gonna be hitting high to low. Now, if my opponent's paddle goes down, then I should prepare and anticipate with my paddle up because they're gonna be hitting low to high. This is a simple concept that you can use from pretty much anywhere on the court, and it will definitely increase your anticipation.
When I first started playing pickleball, honestly, my drive was so mid. And then I learned this. And that's a lot of times when people are driving the ball in pickleball, they have a really tight grip and a firm wrist. But what creates power and topspin is a nice loose wrist with some lag. So loosen up that wrist and then get your feet in position and really let the ball fly. That's what's gonna create topspin and power, having that loose wrist whipping through the zone.
If you play tournaments or any type of competition, then listen to this next tip because it will actually blow your mind. And it's playing to your strengths and your partner's strength. So for example, if I know my partner has a great forehand drive, even if that ball is coming on my side of the court, I might just give that to him because he has a really great drive. Now reversely, let's say his drop is off or his drive is off for the day and my backhand is killer. then I'm gonna play to my strength and try to take these backhands. Now, this isn't a universal truth, but it is really important to know your strength and your partner and change your game plan accordingly. That's gonna help you win more pickleball games.
I see this all the time from beginner pickleball players when they're trying to counter a ball at the net. They do this. They kind of chop at the ball with an open paddle face. If you want to win more points, simply take your knuckles and point them down towards the ground. This is going to close the face, and then all you really need is a small little tricep extension to counter the ball. So it should look something like this.
When I first started playing pickleball, people called this area no man's land, and I was terrified of it. I would just run through this area because I didn't want to hit a shot in here. However, if you ever want to get to a high level of pickleball, you want to make sure that you can hit shots in this area, and one way to do that and feel really comfortable is to do what's called a split step. And that's simply just stopping your momentum to hit a shot when you're on balance. If you do that, I promise this area will not feel as scary and you will get to the kitchen way easier.
Learning the two-handed backhand really added another shot to my arsenal and took me to the next level in pickleball. And it's really important to know when you're hitting a two-handed backhand drive or a two-handed backhand dink that the non-dominant hand does the work. So this is kind of what I mean right here. If I'm hitting, I'm really gonna use my left hand, and that non-dominant hand is creating topspin. That applies to a dink or a drive. So the next time you're doing a two-handed backhand, work on that non-dominant hand and you'll be way more successful.
This next tip totally transformed my offense at the kitchen line, and it's pretty simple. It's really whenever you're attacking a ball to reload quickly. So instead of having this big follow through and staying there, get your paddle back to the ready position so you're ready for the next shot. It'll look something like this.
This next tip is really for 4-0 players and above. So if you're not a 4-0 or above, you could just fast forward to the next one. And that's the triangle theory. So what this means is, for example, if I get a ball that's out wide here and I speed the ball up to the middle, often that ball is going to come back on this line, making a triangle. So what this means, if I get a ball that pulls me out wide and I pull that back to the middle, likely that ball's coming right back on this line. So just think about the triangle theory the next time you're speeding the ball up, and you'll be in a much better position to respond to that next ball.
This next tip will totally transform your topspin dinks, and it's making sure you wait to the apex. So a lot of times people will hit the ball off the short hop, and you really can't hit topspin. So a simple tip here is to wait until that ball completely rises off the bounce, and then you're gonna be able to apply so much more topspin because you have more to work with.
Out of all the pickleball tips I've learned in the last 6 years, this strategy is probably one of the best for beating players that are actually better than you in pickleball. And that's learning a neutral middle dink. If I can keep this middle dink in a very unattackable spot, it's a really easy way to neutralize players that are better than me because I take away angles from them. If I go out wide or if I pull somebody this way, I'm giving them a lot of options and where to attack me. But if I hit to the middle, they can really only attack me to the middle because anything going to the sides is probably going out. So take away angles of better players than you by neutralizing them with the middle dink, and you'll win way more pickleball points.
This next tip might sound pretty simple, but I promise it's gonna save you so many points, and it's just simply respect the net. The worst shot in the whole game of pickleball is hitting a ball into the net. So when you're back here, especially if you're hitting drops or drives, never try to just get the ball right over the net. Respect the net, don't flirt with it, get everything over because at least that gives you a chance even if it's high. Never hit a ball in the net.
This next concept applies to both dropping the ball and dinking the ball in pickleball. If you want to level up, I want you to think about the concept of holding the ball on your paddle for a long time. If you can keep the ball on your paddle for a long time, you're going to have a lot more control, a lot more finesse, and quite frankly, it's going to be much harder for your opponents to read. So what I mean by that is if I get this ball to drop, I really want to try to hold the ball on the paddle for a long time and almost guide the ball in. That's going to help you execute this shot with ease, and it works on the forehand or the backhand side.
This last tip, honestly, is often overlooked, and it's just keeping it simple. A lot of times I'll see people try to do a lot of fancy stuff And the more variables that you add, the more common it is to make errors. So by keeping everything simple, you'll make less errors and be way more consistent in your pickleball games.
If you like this video, you'll definitely like the next one we have coming up. So be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications.
And we'll see you in the next one.